I can already tell it's not loud enough. Hi, everyone. Shall we? Hi. All right. Why don't we get started? We are going to jump right into our management Q&A today. For those that I do not know, I am Michelle Grimolia, the president and CEO here at Woodland Pond. What do we do if the fire alarm goes off? That's right. All right, so we're going to go through all of the management folks. We'll have a few minutes to give you some updates, take some questions, and then Dave Roberts will come in and give an update on the project, which is going to be our normal routine for these things for the next 7 years. So buckle up. We will start with Sarah because Sarah has a special guest who actually isn't a guest. He's a new employee that Sarah will introduce us to. So would you like to start, Sarah? Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Leonard, Resident Services Director here at Woodland Pond. It's great to see everyone. So yes, we have our new fitness coordinator here, Matt Romer. Come on up, Matt. So Matt started yesterday and he'll be working Mondays through Fridays, and he'll be coordinating all the fitness classes for the health center and for independent living. And Matt comes to us with an education in exercise science and wellness. He has about 5 years of experience as a physical therapy assistant. He also has experience from Mike Artega's. He also has been a coordinator of exercise programs for a corrections facility, and he also has experience as a corrections officer as well. So he can handle any behavior you send his way, so just be prepared. Stay in line, right? So we're so warm welcome to Matt.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name's Matt. Like Sarah said, I'll be the new fitness coordinator. I've met many of you. I'm still learning everybody's names. If I haven't met anybody, feel free to stop by the fitness center and introduce yourself. But I'll be around and introducing myself. I'm looking forward to running a bunch of different fitness programs with everybody. So if anybody has ideas or things that you would like to have me incorporate in my exercise programs, please feel free to shoot some ideas to me. I'm looking forward to do strength training, cardio, water aerobics, pretty much anything I'm capable of doing. So like I said, feel free to stop by. I'm looking forward to trying new things. And like I said, I'll be around, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work with everybody. Thank you.
All right, and then I just have a couple of other announcements. So I'm continuing my annual visits with everyone with a focus on people who are new. And so what an annual visit is I come to your apartment or your cottage and we just have a casual visit, get to know one another a little bit better, maybe review your emergency packet, have you give me suggestions, concerns, criticisms, anything that you'd like to talk about that's related to yourselves and Woodland Pond. So I'll be looking forward to continuing those visits with you. And also coming up tonight, you can join Woodland Pond residents and pianists Jean Aldwell and Bobby Renfro and French horn player John Ortner and their special guest performer clarinetist Sue Ellen Brooke for a special evening of a varied music from classical composers, American folk tunes to klezmer music, and much more. So that is tonight here at 7:15. So definitely come and check that out. We're expecting a full house for that. And then on Council Connections, the next Council Connections is tomorrow, May 16th at 2 o'clock here. And the guest that's going to be featured, two guests, Jean Crawford and Shalom Schwartz, and they will be representing the Woodland Pond Play Readers, and they will be interviewed by Rhea Stein. So please plan to come to that. And if anyone's interested in volunteering for any evening programs to be an usher, to be kind of like a welcomer, to help point out the empty seats that people can go and sit in, to bring people's assistive devices out into the hall and back. If you're interested in doing something like that, please let me know, because we're always looking for a little extra assistance here and there. And that's all. Any questions for me? Or for Matt? Let him off easy. It's the first meeting. Okay, Jason.
Thank you. Okay, I am Jason Irish, Director of Concierge and Communication Services. I am only going to talk about a couple things. So kind of going with what Michelle said about staying put during our fire alarm. I don't know if Michelle or Tom were going to talk about it, but obviously last weekend we had that lockdown. Did you plan on talking about that or no? All right, I'll just say a couple things. Obviously things went well. It wasn't, a major concern. We're glad things went well. I want to remind everyone, when alarms like that go off, even fire alarms, do not call the concierge desk. Look on Connected Living, turn to channel 1340. We post an alert there, and obviously we send out the mass notification for any information that we have at that time. We try to get that message out within 5 minutes. Most of you know that. For those of you that don't, again, wait, don't call the concierge desk, don't go down to the desk. Let us deal with the situation, and you'll get notified through either call, text, email, and then also we post an alert on Connected Living. So keep an eye out for those during one of those events. If you are not receiving the alarms, I talk about this too. If you're not receiving the alarms, or you want to receive the alarms in a different way, let the concierge desk know. We could change up the methods of communication. This is something I always talk about. Check your mail folders at the concierge desk for any mail, especially for new residents. Any mail that's delivered with the wrong address, it'll go to the concierge desk, and you could pick up the mail there. This is a new thing that we started within the past week. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. The stanchions and the barricades that we're kind of putting in the lobby in independent living. So this also goes hand in hand with what happened 2 weekends ago with, the two people that came in. They were family members of an employee. So, but we didn't know that at the time. Whatever, I'm getting sidetracked. The barricades we're doing at night and on the weekends just to allow more traffic to go towards the concierge desk. If there's one person working at the desk, they can't have eyes on everything, especially if there's people at the desk, phone calls coming in. So this is just an added layer to have traffic, go that way. So if anyone has questions, you can talk to me. You can talk to the concierge desk, but that's what we're trying it. It's kind of like a trial we're doing with the ping pong table. We're trialing the stanchions to see how things go. And if anyone has questions about the ping pong table, you can ask me, you can ask the concierge desk. We're seeing how that's going. So far, we seem to think it's going well. If anyone has any feedback, let us know. We're interested in hearing that. Joy Dreyer caught me before this meeting. This upcoming Tuesday, school board elections. Most of you may have absentee ballots for those things. If you don't and you want to go vote, we're going to vote Tuesday from 1 to 3. You could sign up at the concierge desk. I'll tell Lisa after this meeting that we'll do that. We'll start a sign up sheet, but from 1 to 3 p.m. on Tuesday, we'll go over to New Paltz High School for school board elections. At the high school, yes. Yep. And I think it's all day. Joy, you could chime in 7 to 9 that day. It's open, but we'll transport from 1 to 3. So if you drive, you can go over at any point on Tuesday. I don't really have much else. Any questions for me while I'm here? Okay. Thank you. I'm going to go Tom.
Hi, Tom Tango, Director of Plant Operations. Couple things. Thank you. Thank you too for all your cooperation and patience in our recent repaving, the parking lot and the section of the back road. It went rather well. And the parking lot looks good. Yakov was the first one to try it out and it went well. Also coming up soon and within another 2-3 weeks, we're going to be putting a new roof on the health center. So we'll be bringing a crane back again for a little bit of time, and we'll be putting a new roof on the health center. So that really won't affect a whole lot right now, but there'll be people around and some workers and cranes and things like that. And I don't have exact dates, but it'll be the first 2 weeks of June. Also coming up soon, well, like I said, a lot of you know, we plan on redecking the pool. The floor around the pool will get removed and a new product will go down that won't be slippery. It'll look great. Where there's some paperwork that has to happen and that's in process. So I don't have a date. I want to do it as soon as I can. How things are going to go is there'll be a few days, the pool will be closed, about a week, where we take the existing ceramic tile up, put new concrete down. You use it like that for the next month or so, then I close it again, and then the epoxy product goes on. And it's the floor around the pool, the hot tub, and right into the bathrooms. But again, I don't have dates. There's still some paperwork we need to do on that. And for those of you that are worried, the sample that I have in there, that's not the color it's going to be. But so, and again, we still have more paperwork to do. Also, we're gonna, by 2 o'clock today, the bids are due for redoing the walking trail out back and making the entire walking trail in compliance with United States Trail Association walking trail standards. It'll be a huge improvement. It'll be a trail that even I could walk on. It'll be great. But with those bids come in 2 o'clock today, so we still have to get them and evaluate them. So I don't really have much to say on that time wise right now. But a lot of things are happening, and there's still some other stuff that'll be happening also. So I appreciate all the cooperation. Like I say, with the parking lot, you guys are great. I mean, the cars just disappeared, and I heard one complaint about parking that whole week, and it was from a staff member. It wasn't even from a resident. I appreciate it. Any questions?
All right, hang on, Sandy.
I'm just wondering, are the trails going to be compliant for handicapped people? In other words,
Excuse me?
will the trails be compliant for handicapped people?
Will the trails be accessible for handicapped people? Well, the trails are going to be built to the United States Forest Service Trail Accessibility Standard. So they will be more accessible than they are now. Are they going to be ADA and paved? No. So they're going to be, the question I don't have an answer, because it depends on what a person's disability or abilities are. But they are going to be, again, to the United States Trail Association, trail standard. So they're going to be they're not going to be overly pitched. They're going to be properly drained. They're going to be properly wide enough. So they will be as accessible as it can be before you have to start calling it a road and putting Dollar Generals on it.
Hang on, Ronnie Sue.
That's great. What are the plans for ongoing maintenance of those trails?
Yeah, there's plans. I'll get back to you on that.
That's a good suggestion, Michelle.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we have plenty of people. I mean, we can do it, but that would be, like Michelle said, that would be a good thing, because, a lot of residents would like to do a lot of stuff. So that would be a nice thing that we keep up and, see, where the line, how can we help you, help us kind of thing,
So one of the things that was important to us when we decided to request the bids on this was this is truly an investment. Just to kind of give you the order of magnitude of this is probably a all-in $75,000 project we're anticipating to improve those two trails. This is just the two trails, McBride and Branch. So they'll be like 4-ish, 5-ish feet wide. There'll be gravel. They're going to look like a rail trail, I think, ish.
Yes, yeah.
So they're not going to be paved, but these are going to look like substantial trails like you see, and they're going to therefore be easier to maintain than what we have now
Much.
because they're going to be proper trails. So when we were looking at, this is going to be an actual investment because we want this to be a destination for our residents because the observation platform, which a lot of you probably have never even been to, is an actual destination on our campus. The actual Woodland Pond is someplace we want people to come to. We wanted it with the intention of how do we create something that is easier for us to maintain or easier for our landscape contractor to maintain or easier for resident volunteers to maintain.
But also one thing is now that once we complete it, we're gonna know what we're maintaining it to.
Exactly.
You know, prior to this, like, should we cut this weed? Should we
Right.
cut that weed? You know, so at least now we're gonna have a set standard
Right.
of what's, because also once we do it, part of the contract is the designer of it is gonna come back and certify that it is made to those standards.
Yes. So there will be a
you know, so we'll have
certification.
something that is maintained too, not just whether Tom Tango thinks it's good or not.
Right. And that's an important point. So the folks that designed it, they are able to actually do the work. They weren't able to necessarily commit to the fastest time frame, but they did agree that even if they don't get the bid, they will actually come back and certify it. So we've already paid them to do the certification, even if they don't get the work. So if it goes to a different contractor, if they build it to the specs from this professional trail designer, they will come back, and as long as it's built to that certification, they will certify it. So this is a major thing. I'm really excited about it, and I think this is going to be great for the residents. I think it's going to be awesome. So this is really cool. Jeffrey?
The entry points to the trail, both ends steep,
That's-
railings.
No, they're gonna be reconfigured
Wow.
and regraded. Right, and because there's a certain pitch they can't be, you know, so that's all in the plans.
Yeah, there's switchbacks. On one end, there are switchbacks added in, and on the other end, it kind of takes a wider swath. So yeah, there is a certain grade that it has to be at in order to meet those qualifications. So it truly does make them more accessible.
And the way he designed it also, he gets those in there, but he also leaves it such that we can get vehicles down there if we need to. So it worked, it was a good thing. All right.
Tom, one here from Michelle.
It's not a question, just a comment. I know I volunteer at the preserve, and one of the things that people can volunteer for is to maintain the trails at the preserve. So I would think they would be good people to talk to about having
Sure, yeah.
volunteers.
That does sound good. Yeah, they would know
Yeah.
it. You're right. Maybe just no need to reinvent the wheel. All right, thank you. Amy?
You went for like 15. I've been watching the clock. All right, I'm Amy McIntyre, the Director of Dining, and I'm always loud. Okay, I was told I only have 5 minutes. Okay, I just want to give you some announcements, okay? June 6th is going to be our first barbecue, our welcome barbecue lunch, where it's going to be staff. We had done that last year, you guys all remember? It's going to be staff, residents from the health center, and an IL. It's going to be a really big deal. You'll be hearing more about that, but I just want you to put it on your calendars for June 6th. It's going to be like a welcome barbecue lunch outside, obviously. My chefs have been talking about some of my, my guys that work on the line. That doesn't sound good. Something went down. See, they're just cutting into my 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. It did. So I just want to bring this to this group. Some of my guys in the kitchen, they were talking about doing cooking outside weekly, like once a week during the summer. A raise of hands, is that something you think you'd be interested in? Well, no, cooking outdoors once a week. You know how we'll do monthly barbecues? My guys want to know if they can cook outside with you. You can eat in or out, but they want to do barbecue type foods, and we'll kick it up a notch every week, but they want to be outside once a week. So I told them I would bring it to you guys. I saw a show of hands. Dinner. This is a dinner thing. So they want to do once a week. They want to be outside and they want to cook. And they'll do different barbecue items, and we should do it all through the summer. and you'll know what they are. Okay, we're working on an engagement calendar that will be up next week. That's going to be right at the reservation desk. And I know you get information in the Chanticleer. I tell you things here. We have Woodland Pond, our newsletter, but everything that's going to be happening that has to do with dining, you now will have on a calendar with Ruth at the reservation desk. So come by anytime if there's something you feel like you don't know what's going on and you want to sign up for. And then we'll have the weekly barbecues with the menus. I'm going to probably start that in June. We'll do the kickoff, the official June 6th kickoff. And then after that, we'll talk about doing it once a week outside. And speaking of outside, at this point, when you're making your reservations, weather permitting, if you want to eat outside, just put that in the comments. You want to dine outside. Or if you go to Ruth directly, just tell Ruth when you're making your reservations, only because we need to assign servers outside. Obviously, if you come last minute and you tell us you want to sit outside, we were not going to say no to you, but it would really help us to prepare if when making reservations, you want it to be outside. And that can start tomorrow, okay? It's nice weather. You see it's going to be a great day. Obviously, I've talked to Tanya and Ruth about this. If there's rain or the weather goes bad, and 2 weeks ago you said you wanted to sit out on a Thursday, don't fret. We will put you inside. We're not just going to cancel you. Okay. Wine tastings. So we started, I started doing wine tastings. I go online, I pick a bunch of different wines, different grape varietals. I get feedback. Our next one is Thursday, May 30th. Okay. Oh, yes. Why not? Oh, there you go. Thursday, May. Oh, you know why? Because you're right, because my dietitian talk is on the 30th. Thank you, Stephanie. Good, because Thursday is dietitian talk, which I'm going to talk about. Okay, so we've decided that I'm only going to invite, I'm thinking 25 to 30 people. You have to sign up at the concierge. Last time we made it 2 days before was the cutoff. And then the day before, about 10 people signed up. The day of, 5 people were walking by and said free booze. Okay. I have to plan better for these things. So I'm asking for you to sign up at the concierge. It's Tuesday, May 28th. And I need you to sign up so I know who's coming. I can get an idea, and also for purchasing the wine. I know this year I bought a really nice, this one coming up. I have a really nice Nicolas Fier Rosé Champagne. It's the real deal. It's actually champagne. And I did a Nebbiolo by request. I have a Petite Syrah. And I have a Chenin Blanc. So those are, anyone who knows wine, you know how important all those great varietals are, and I would love to have you. We are starting dietitian talks. Years ago, that was something that we had, or at least 2 years, where we're going to have monthly topics. The first one is Thursday, May 30th. It is, we set up the date and time. You can see it. It's in your Chanticleer. It'll be there tomorrow for you. And we're also going, and this month, we're talking about beans. And the health benefits of beans, believe it or not. Next month will be artificial sweeteners. We've all been reading a lot about how bad artificial sweeteners are, and how we don't want to use them. And that old school mentality is if you're diabetic or have high sugar levels, that you should be using sugar substitutes. And that is not correct. So next month, we're doing something about sweeteners, a little education on that, okay? And next month, we're going to be setting up in independent living, Ask the RD sessions. Okay. And that means if you have any questions about your diets or your concerns about things, about food, you come to this, and it's about, it'll be an open forum for you to ask questions to the registered dietitian. We have a Tanya Lopez. She was here about a year ago, and she's come back to us, and she's really excited about coming over to IL and educating. All right, we all know that we've had new menus. They started last Saturday. Have you been seeing some of the new items on the menus? Okay, please try everything. I want you to know that I have had talks with all of my management team where if you try an item and you don't like it, please just tell your server and we will get you something else. Please remember that if you're upset about an item, you don't like it, it's not cooked, it's not hot, it's overcooked, the cost of tea in China, whatever it is, you tell your server, they will get you something else. It is our priority when a table of 4 all has their food and one of them sends an item back. It is called a refire. That is kitchen terminology. It is the first thing the cooks do. They stop everything they're doing. They make that meal, they send it out, and then they go back to the next table because you don't let 3 people eating and have one person waiting a half hour. Does that make you understand? So I don't want to hear the excuse, oh, I don't want to wait another half hour. Or I didn't want to tell anyone. Okay. If you don't want us to return the meal, but you're not happy about it, we all know that my servers will offer you dessert, right? Okay. You're going to see a lot of new desserts too. The biggest thing is feedback on the new menus. I want positive and negative. What I've been doing in the health center is telling the residents over there, you give me 2 positives and you can give me 1 negative. So obviously, you know my email address. You know you can call 0 and get my direct line. You have Tanya in the dining room, you have Ruth, and you have the happy or not machine. These are where I want to hear your open, honest feedback about the new menu. Where all my chefs, some of those recipes are brand new and they have never had them before. We're doing tasting plates. We're seeing what our wins and losses are, but your feedback is so important, okay? I'll take things off the menu if you don't like it. Cauliflower steaks did not go over well in the health center. So, I love them, but health center, oh no, they threw them at me. Okay. Last but not least, because I have to stop talking, new residents. Every day I'm walking down the halls, I say hello to everyone. You guys know that. There's a lot of faces I don't know, and I don't like it at all. So if you see me in the hall, please say hello to me, introduce yourself. It's my goal. I may not remember your name. There's one Amy and like 250 of you. But if you wore your badges, I'd know your name. Now, that being said, please introduce yourself to me. I know you see me on Q&A and you hear about me, but it really hurts my heart when someone says, here's Amy, have you met her? And you say no. I want to know everybody, even if I, can't tell all your names, I want to know you all. Okay. Any questions for me? Betsy, don't get me in trouble.
I'll go Jeffrey and then Betsy.
Until we have a pub to continue dinner conversations with,
Yes.
There's not much of this facility for people to continue talking. And indeed, some of us who want to do that feel, well, the staff has got to get home and out by 8 o'clock. What's your feeling about people just hanging in there? Could you designate a number of tables where it's okay to stay and talk and carry on?
So this has been brought up to us before. I don't know if you've known that. Okay. Obviously, when I first got here, you were literally ushered out. About 7:35, they say, hey, Betsy, you got to go. That's unacceptable to me. So, oh no, we don't. So the idea, this is your home. Okay. My requirements for my wait staff is that they have to take all the dishes except for your drinks away from the table, because I don't want to leave that food plates and things like that overnight. If you choose, and I can give reminders, Tanya can speak about it today in her huddle, but our process is, if you want to stay later in the dining room because the 4 of you are having conversation at your table, don't ever feel rushed. My staff will leave at 8 p.m. when they're done, but as long as they've cleared all of your dishes except for maybe your water and your glass of wine, you can stay as long as you want. That's the reality. Michelle and I've spoken about this. I know there's some plans about maybe some after dinner fun, but for right now, at this immediate moment, if you're having good conversation, please don't ever feel rushed. And all of my wait staff and Tanya and Ruth have been, talked about. And I'll reiterate that today to everybody to make sure, but that's always been the policy.
Salt. You were going to talk about salt.
Oh, she's reminding you, you're going to get me in trouble. We've had a lot of comments in the Happy or Not machine. About once a week, we get a comment about too much salt in the food. Okay. It's usually the same person, and I know who you are. Okay. Oh, I know everybody. So, and that's why I want to know the new ones too, so I can go after them, Ron. That being said, we are a senior living environment, correct? I follow senior living recipes. I literally have what we refer to as Drive, where I pull all of your recipes from. We use low sodium bases, okay? So bases is like the food for your soup. So like you would make a stock, we buy a wet base and they're all low sodium. We do add salt and pepper to taste on some items, okay? But I am letting you know that our recipes, we are not over salting anything. All right. And there's actually a thing, and I will talk about this. Maybe I'll put it in like the Chanticleer so I don't get in trouble today, Bets. But there are been studies, and you're supposed to have 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of salt a day. And there's an actual thing where older people are not having enough salt. And you need salt in your diet a day to be healthy. And when you don't get enough salt, it can actually be detrimental to some cases. Okay. If you find that if you are salt sensitive, have a conversation with me. I respect that. And then when you're talking to your server, allow them to know you're salt sensitive. But keep it out of my happy or not machine. But I just want you to know that on your menus from now on, it's going to start next week because we're starting new menus. You're going to see it's going to say nutritional facts, given upon request. So if you ever want to see nutritional facts on any item on the menu, you can request them at the table. Okay, that's going to be something we're working on for the new menus. I have nutritional facts and recipes for every item that you're eating, including those desserts. You want me to get rid of those desserts? Because you're complaining about the salt, but nobody's complaining about that 800-calorie chocolate mousse cake or the tiramisu or the Perry's ice cream. Okay, any other questions for me? It's a pleasure. I won't be back till next Thursday. Woohoo!
Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody today? My name is Terrell Fairley. I am the manager of IT and cybersecurity here at Woodland Pond. I do have a couple of things to talk about today, but for our new residents, those that are interested, I do help out with technology-related requests. So if you have problems with your cell phone, any TV-related things, computer-related stuff, I can help out with that. All right, so let me pull up the screen here. Just a couple of things to talk about. I promise I'll be quick. That's not it. Don't be quick. Yeah. All right, hopefully everybody can see this. So we did have a few upgrades recently to our equipment here at Woodland Pond. All right. So some of this stuff is not things that you guys regularly see, but it does help our communications out here at Woodland Pond. So from computer to computer out to the internet, our infrastructure needed to be upgraded. So this is kind of some of the stuff that we did. I wanted to just let everybody know some of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes to make Woodland Pond better for everybody. In this case, this would be for our staff members. On the left-hand side here, we see one of our server racks. You can see the larger orange cables hanging down. Those were recently replaced. We did this during overnight hours, so nobody was affected. So on the left-hand side was the before, and on the right-hand side was, kind of some of the stuff that we replaced after. So not only the cabling, but some of the other networking equipment, like the red rectangular items that you see there, those were replaced as well. So just a little bit of that. And we also did a pretty significant computer upgrade recently. So we did roll out 16 new computers here to Woodland Pond staff members. So in some cases, we do have to do what's called hardware refreshes. The equipment gets old. We need to take out the old stuff and put in the new computers. All right. So you can see on the left-hand side, those were the new PCs fresh in the boxes. And on the right-hand side, we had one of our outsourced IT vendors give us a hand with the configuration for those. So that's what you see on the right-hand side there. The last thing that I want to talk about, and thank you, Michelle, for bringing it up on the weekly address, is we've recently had an incident where somebody received a notification via email or whatever the case may be. But the point is that they were on the phone with an unsuspecting person on the other end, and they gave up their personal information, right? So one thing that I wanted to point out to everybody in order to try to maintain and be safe, and I've seen this several times since I've been here at Woodland Pond. What we get, and I think I may have mentioned it previously, but in some cases, when we're navigating the internet, and a lot of times I've seen it where people are looking for recipes, they're Googling certain keywords that they're searching for. The responses that they get from Google, sometimes, now this isn't all the time, but sometimes the bad guys can manipulate those results that you see from Google, okay? And what they do when that happens is they'll present you with a fake website, okay? And sometimes the fake website looks like what we're gonna see here. Okay. Over on the left-hand side at the top, underneath the red arrow, you can see a telephone number. But basically what this screen is doing is it's falsely telling you that your computer's infected with some kind of virus. Okay. Now this is a scare tactic. All right. It doesn't necessarily mean that your computer's infected, but you navigated to a somewhat of a compromised website. Okay. Now the bad thing isn't this notification appearing on your screen. The bad thing really is the telephone number in the top left-hand corner. Okay. And what happens is when you call that telephone number, you will get somebody who sounds like a Microsoft support representative on the other line. That is in fact the bad guy you're speaking to. Okay. We've had this a number of times, but just kind of be cognizant of the fact that this can occur. If you do have any questions about it, you can always reach out to me. I would say if it does pop up on your screen, the safest thing for you to do is to restart your computer. Okay, that will get you to where you need to be. And 9 out of 10 times, this infection screen will go away at that point. But I wanted to bring it up and just let everybody know not to call. And the number is different right here. It's a 390 number. A lot of times I see a 1-800 number. But the point is, don't call that number. If you are questioning it, you can always call the concierge desk. They can get a hold of me or they can answer the question for you as well. But yeah, definitely don't call that number. There are additional pieces of security software that you can put on your computer. One piece that I've been recommending to all of our residents here is something called Malwarebytes. It's all one word, Malwarebytes. I can help you out installing that. There's a free version of it and a paid version as well. But yeah, that software will definitely help protect your computer so that we limit these types of notifications, these fake Microsoft scam sites from coming up on the screen. Any questions? That is for Apple. And you'll see that the wording changes. Right here, up in the top left, we can see it says Windows support. For Apple computers, it will pop up and say Apple support. Okay?
Michelle's was the same.
Michelle's was the same?
I thought it was. So this security system that you're recommending is for Apple too?
Yes, it works on
Okay.
both platforms. Yep.
All right, I just want to make sure.
All right. Anybody else? That's all I have for today. No? One
Hang
more
on.
over here.
Dave, give me a second.
Actually, two things. Internet and phone service in the front of the building, say the dining over to, well, that whole part of the building. They're usually very weak. I can't get a
signal?
Not sufficient to.
Not
like
sufficient signal.
Patrons say to get onto the internet, it never connects me.
Okay. So I'll mention two things. One, I can take a look at the wireless signal in kind of the dining area. We did recently do a wireless survey. It was more specifically focused on the SNF and the nursing floors. But I'll take a look at the dining area to see what the signal looks like there. The other thing that I'll mention with that is that there is an acknowledgement screen that you have to accept. You've probably seen that before. So when you go on to patrons, the next screen that you see after you connect to patrons is it's called a CAPTCHA screen, right? But essentially it's designed for you to acknowledge the fact that you're connecting to a free Wi-Fi network. Okay. So sometimes I've seen in the past where that check mark doesn't get checked off and clicked on. So then you don't subsequently have access to the internet at that point. So I would say just verify that, you are checking that off, and I will double check on the wireless signal there. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll double check the signal there to make sure it's strong for you. Okay. Anybody else with any questions? One more?
Do we really want service like that in the dining room?
The service should be there. Okay, it should be there. It's designed to be there. If it's not there, it may be, a wireless access point that's mounted in the ceiling that needs to just be physically moved around. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. One thing I just wanted to touch on, we will be doing window cleaning this year. I am getting some quotes from some new companies. We're not going to be using the company we used previously. So we expect, you know, you're gonna have the same, there's a level of a learning curve when a new company comes in and has to learn the building and whatever we need to do to go through that operation. So, but we gave them the specs, and we should have those quotes back and a few other things that we're looking at as well. But we will be doing windows as soon as this green stuff stops flying around. Usually it's around July or August, depending on when we can get it on the schedule with a new company. All right, that's the only thing I wanted to touch on. If anyone has any back porches that we did not get in the winter time, please reach out to Carrie if we did not get to your porch when it was the dead of winter, because we'd like to get those porches done now at this time of year while it's nice out, so you guys can enjoy that. So we would steam clean the porch, because a lot of times, you know, if your porch is screened in, you get a lot of black curmudgeon that kind of builds up on that floor just from the weather and rain just kind of sitting there to turn kind of icky. So we like to steam clean that for you and just kind of start over fresh. Okay.
Regarding the steam cleaning, last summer, you was steam cleaning below my deck, whatever you call it. And the spray came onto my windows, and had my door been open or the windows open, I was not notified that there would be spray. So, you know, ambient spray around. So I hope that if in the future that you let people know so they don't have their windows open or doors open in the spring and when you do the spraying.
For the spraying, you mean on the porch?
I don't know what you were spraying on the first level, but there was some power spraying and the spray came up to my level above
Okay.
and actually hit the windows.
All right, because we didn't do windows last year, so that's.
I don't know what you were spraying, to tell you the truth, but
Yeah,
maybe it was a power wash for the building.
yeah, I'll blame Tom on that one.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Tom after the meeting. I'll pull him aside.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Annette. You got one? Annette?
I just want to say the ground
Mike,
floor,
take the mic.
the ground floor has little worms all over it. Little black worms. Most of them are dead.
The little caterpillars.
Well, whatever they are.
Well, I don't know what a whatever is.
My porch is filled with little creatures.
Yeah,
that
I'll
are
come take
dead.
a, because I need to know what the creature is, and then I can address the problem.
Probably on all the porches on the ground floor.
Possible, but yeah, we do live in the middle of the woods. It's kind of tough to, kill them.
When you spray clean the floor of the porch,
Yep.
does that take care of stains? My porch has never been cleaned, but I've had the apartment for almost 2 years now.
Okay.
I am here only part-time, but there are stains, color.
Is it paint or can
Who
you?
knows? Whoever.
come take a look at it.
Whoever was living there before. And I would like to, and I will put my name in at the concierge to have my porch cleaned.
Yeah, do that when you leave here, and then I'll take a look at it, because if
Okay,
it's paint, then I gotta use something else.
I don't know
or,
what it was. Yeah.
We'll take a
Okay,
look at it and see if we
thank
can
you.
get it removed. Any other questions for me? One more, Dave? Two more?
Yeah, power washing, outside power washing, in the cottages particularly, excuse the quote, where the sun don't shine, in the back. And
Yeah.
also the classroom where the sun doesn't hit that area also is kind of a funky color of green. I wonder if you have a plan for that.
Yeah, we're looking into getting quotes for power washing the building. I'm doing that work for Tom today. So I'm getting the quote from a company that the president was actually in today. So we're waiting on that quote to look and see what that would cost the facility to do like a building wash. Someone in the back. Hold on.
Do you
Hold on.
ever clean the screens on the balconies inside and out?
The screens are a little tough because they're not removable. When it comes to a balcony, there's only so much we can do with the screens because the way they built them, they don't remove. We can remove the screens from your windows, but we can't do anything with the porches. We can do what we can with them and wipe them down if it gets a little gacky, because it does hold on, screens can hold on to dirt, and we can try something, but we can't remove those screens. That's the problem. Hold on, wait for the mic.
Hang on, Joe.
Jason moves a little slow sometimes,
Sorry, Jason. Question about the trash rooms. Do the trash rooms get cleaned? Because the one on my floor is really gross.
Yes, and the plan is to start next week because we still need to refinish. You're in the north wing? Yeah, the north wings are
I'm in Central.
south central. we need to refinish those floors. So we're going to start with the north wing because we did south and central. So we're going to move on to that. But yes, they should be done on a regular basis. I'll make sure that's getting done.
The floors would help.
Right. But I think if we refinish the floor and start brand new, it would make things a whole lot easier because those barrels tend to ruin the floor and put
It's
black marks all
easier
over
just
the
to
place.
mop the floor.
Yeah, but then the black marks don't go away and I don't like the way that looks. So I want to redo that. One more, Rolf, and then I'm leaving.
Is there any way that the garbage cans, the big green garbage cans can be cleaned out?
Yes.
There's all kinds of crap in paper
Stuff.
there
There's all
inside.
kind of stuff in there. Yes.
Stuff. All right.
Curmudgeon. Yes. Yes. We will work on that as well. Yes.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Who's next? Anyone? Dave?
Good afternoon, everyone. Last month, I learned that you have to hold the microphone close to your mouth. I guess that probably from your point of view, I'm Dave Roberts. I'm the Capital Projects Manager, and it probably feels like this is a long project that's way in the future. But for us, we're feeling things are really ramping up. And that we're starting to feel some of the immediate deadlines that we need to meet in order to keep the project moving. Some of you will have been involved with Shelley Holiday, who has been working with focus groups the last couple of days with regard to dining and hospitality. And I know that she feels it's been a very successful round of focus groups, and she's gleaned a tremendous amount of information. What that does is then she'll prepare a report, and she also coordinates with the architects and the interior architects, and that starts to inform their design in terms of what we're going to change for dining in the future for Woodland Pond. We have selected architecture practice for the project. They are AG Architecture from Wisconsin. They have over 30 years of experience in senior living, and I feel so confident in their ability and how they are going to support us through this process. Eric Harmon is the principal there, and one of the things we really liked about AG Architecture was they have a very proven methodology of incorporating all the information that comes out of the community. And he's there throughout the entire process. And as I say, I feel very confident in their ability, and I'm excited to be working with them. The other thing that's happened is that we've also selected a civil engineer who are a more local company. They're LRC Group out of Poughkeepsie. Ken Casamento is very well known and has presented a lot of projects in front of the New Paltz Planning Board. And so that is one of the primary reasons why we decided to work with Ken. I have a lot of confidence in his ability to present our interests and to, work with the other consultants and walk us, keep us through this process. So once again, feeling very good about the team that we're putting together. And it's, that's great for all of us, but I feel very excited to be working with people with such great experience. We also have RFPs out to contractors for what's called the pre-construction phase. So what we do in a big project like this is involve the GCs at the early stage so that they can inform us as the design progresses about cost, schedule, means and methods of construction, and so on. And so this is a really great thing because we partner with them in the process. It's not like we do a design and then put it out to bid and find out we can't afford it, or that it's going to take too long, or it's not going to be efficient enough. So it's an important part of the process to bring them in this early. We have three companies that are will be sending proposals to us. Two, I would say, are regional. One's out of Rochester, New York, and the other's out of North New Jersey. They have done work in this area. And the other is out of Poughkeepsie. And once again, we have a good field here to select from. And they are going to present their proposals to us in early June, and we will be turning that decision around very quickly in order to once again have them involved in the early design process. So I think that's all I have for today. But I will say once again, I really enjoy hearing your comments. Shoot me an email, stop me at the bar, and to tell me what I love having the conversations about the project and your thoughts. I know that sometimes when you're asked, for input, it doesn't always come ready to hand, but, when you're, in normal days, something might come up. So, certainly reach out, let me know, and we're recording that and keeping track of it so that we, get everyone's feedback. Thank you. Oh, any questions?
I'll go to Virginia, then Betsy, then Annette.
I know about the focus groups. Where does the library fall? I have here two possibilities: artistic concepts and interior design.
Oh, within the focus groups. Yeah. No, it's a good question. And I honestly don't have a direct answer for you, but I'm prepared to meet with the library committee if that gives the best representation as to your interests, and sit down and listen to, once again, evaluate what you have, and also look towards the future. And you and I have discussed that, like not only think about the library in its present form, but think about the things it could be. I'm excited about those possibilities too.
So does it fall under any one of those focus groups?
No, well, what I'm saying is if it doesn't, then we'll create a focus group, in order to take in all your comments. And I think that's probably the best way to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
There was some kind of a focus group this morning for future residents who are waiting for an apartment or are already future residents. Can you tell us something about that meeting and what that was all about and the outcome of it?
That was actually with Shelley Holiday. She's standing up the back there. Yeah. So Shelley had. So those were prospective residents that were talking to Shelley about the hospitality aspect and the dining aspect of the job, what they're looking for. Yeah.
Yes. So I've had an opportunity to meet a few folks here. My name's Shelley Holiday. I am a dining consultant and I work exclusively with senior living communities. So some of you may have attended the focus groups that we did yesterday. Sure. All right. Out of my way. It's my show now. So we met with two resident groups yesterday, and we discussed what the potential future venues could look like. We try and find out, like, what are ideal times to have meals? What are the ideal hours of operation? Find out what types of menu items you might like. So we did the exact same exercise with prospective residents today. So we could, talk to them about the different concepts for pubs or main dining rooms or casual dining or outdoor dining. So it was the exact same exercise, but with prospective residents. So thanks.
Could you repeat the name of your architect?
Sure. It's AG Architecture. And that is, just the letter A and G. And they're out of Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll make sure that goes into the Chanticleer, so that there's a link to the to their website. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're working on, I had sent out a memo, I don't know, a month ago or so with the design team. The front was our expansion committee and what that comprised of, and the back was the members that we had identified so far of the design team, who that would include. And Shelley, the holiday group, was there because the hospitality piece had already been identified. And then we had a placeholder for the architect and the civil engineer and so forth. As those start to get named, like we've named the architect now, we've named the civil engineer, we will send out updates on those things. What Jason and I are working on right now is how to get that into a place that's always available to you to find. We want to do that through Connected Living. Because you all have access to Connected Living. It's on the screens. We just upgraded those television sets. So those are brand new TVs out there that are more touchscreen, they're more sensitive. We want to put a place there that is just for the renovation and the master planning so that you can touch there and see the updates. But you also all have access to Connected Living on your computers and on your phones. So we're working on finding that technology for you so that you have it handy all the time. And once we have that set, you'll be able to have that, and then you'll have updates in real time so that we can keep things updated, and you won't always have to wait for these meetings, even though we will have updates for you here, so that as we start taking like the crayon drawing that we had 2 months ago, like as those actually start to have an architect look at them, and like the library actually stays where it is, and like the cart storage doesn't maybe stays where it is, and doesn't get touched, and like the pack really actually maybe moves to over here, or like those kinds of things. Like as those things start to get developed, you know where to look for the things. We're working on that technology piece of it. Other questions for Dave or other expansion related items? I just want to mention one thing. We have not purchased any land yet. The land due diligence is still in process. That is taking longer than we anticipated. Again, you know, we're in the option for 2 years. So we do have 2 years to do that due diligence. We were hoping that it was going to go more quickly, but we are still working through the legalities on it. So that there is still no announcement on that. That's why Dave hasn't mentioned anything. Legal stuff is still working through, but there has been no land purchase. Other things we need to announce on that? Other questions on legal related issues?
There's no kangaroo habitat on the
The baby got eaten by the dingo. Dingo ate my baby. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Dave Smith?
Can I be permitted to make an announcement? Okay, so on Friday night on the activities calendar is a re-airing of the Poker Face episode that was filmed here. Some of you who lived through it would know it. But it occurred to me that the new people might want to get some information about the experience of those of us who were in it and those of us who lived there at the time, what happened to Woodland Pond, what scenes of Woodland Pond might be in it. I'm not going to tell you about the plot, that's a whole other thing, but to hear from some of us who are in it. So my wife sent an email out this morning to all of us actors, quote, who were there, inviting them to come at 7 o'clock tomorrow, Friday night, for about 15 minutes. Lisa's kind of approved that we could have 15 minutes, and then the show will go on after that. So if you have some curiosity about the background of it, how Woodland Pond came to be selected, we have some information about that, but we can kind of point out where some of the scenes were shot and just talk you through that for a couple of minutes. Thank you. Hope to see you all there.
Yeah, it was a great time. One more thing I just want to mention really quickly. So you're all going to have, if you have email, there is going to be an email survey coming out. Please look for it. It's related to the Green Dot program, but it's also a test of email. And it's really important because the last email test, a lot of you didn't get them from the Survey Monkey, or it went into your spam folder. We need to keep working on this because the master planning emails, a lot of them are going to continue to come out. And this is how we're getting feedback from you. So Dave's design team is getting a lot of information from these emails. So please do look for this email test. It's either going to come from Lindsay's email or from Survey Monkey. So please look for this in the next day or so. Okay. And please try to respond to it. Anybody have anything else for today? Anybody have anything else? Okay, Amy, have a fun trip. Okay, bye.